Welcome to part 2 of my wildlife odyssey to the Pantanal in Brazil.
The Pantanal is a natural region encompassing the world's largest tropical wetland area and the world's largest flooded grasslands. It is located mostly within the Brazilian state of Mato Grosso, but also extends into portions of Bolivia and Paraguay. It covers an area estimated at between 54 and 75,000 square miles and consists of a gigantic sedimentary basin surrounded by areas of higher ground. The area is dominated by the Paraguay River and its tributaries. During the rainy season from December to March, these rivers back up and burst their banks, flooding 80% of the landscape and forming a myriad of marshes, swamps and shallow lakes. The floodwaters also give the Pantanal soil enormous fertility, supporting a vibrant community of plants. There are over 150 species of mammal and some 600 species of bird to be found here. It is now in August, during the dry season, that wildlife viewing is at its best. As the waters recede, many kinds of creatures are drawn to the shrinking pools, and often in high concentrations.
We've now left the Poço Alegre Lodge and are heading down the Transpantaneal Road to Porto Jofre, filming any wildlife we see on the way. The hyacinth macaw is the world's largest parrot and macaw species, measuring up to 100 centimetres long. They live in small flocks in open and swampy woodland habitats and in riparian forests. It is uncommon, and the estimated population in the world in 2024 is only 4,300 adult birds. It is officially listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. The largest remaining population are now found in the Pantanal. I saw this jaguarundi while on the road to Porto Jofre. They are about twice the size of a domestic cat, of slender build, and are usually solitary. It is a shy animal, and Lawson reckons we were lucky to see one. And in fact, it was the only one we saw on the entire trip.
From Porto Joffre, we take a boat to the Jaguar Flotel moored on the Paraguay River. As its name suggests, this is a floating hotel specialising in jaguar sightings. These wetlands host the greatest known concentrations of the America's largest cat. They exist here at densities double those recorded anywhere else. Any information or observations relating to this animal, such as date of birth, age, sex, breeding activity and behaviour, are all recorded for future reference.
Fires are about 20 kilometres away, which are affecting the light. It's a sort of a grey light. You can smell the smoke in the air, and it's sort of covering the sun.
The giant freshwater otter is one of the most endangered mammal species in the neotropics. Wild population estimates are typically below 5,000, and as of 2020 it is estimated that there may be only 4,500 otters left living in Brazil. The giant otter has the greatest body length of any species in the mustelid family. Males are between 1.5 and 1.7 metres in length from head to tail. The giant otter is an apex predator. It feeds mainly on fish, including perch, piranha and catfish, but will also take crabs, snakes, small caiman and anacondas. The adult animals consume around 10% of their body weight daily. They have the shortest fur of all otter species,
and the fur is so dense that water cannot penetrate through to the skin. Its velvety feel makes the animal highly sought after by fur traders, and this has contributed to its decline. Unique markings of white or cream fur colour on the throat and under the chin allow individuals to be identified from birth. The jaguar is a compact and muscular animal. It is the largest cat native to the Americas and the third largest in the world, exceeded in size only by the lion and the tiger. These wetlands host the greatest known concentrations of the America's largest cat. They exist here at densities double those recorded anywhere else. This is partly due to an abundance of food. Jaguars in the Pantanal have an unusually aquatic diet, regularly hunting caimans and capybara and relying heavily on fish. It is adept at swimming and is largely a solitary, opportunistic predator. Consumption of reptiles appears to be more frequent in jaguars than in any other big cats. It will also prey on marsh deer, collared peccary, black agouti, and on livestock in cattle ranching areas. It has powerful jaws with the third largest bite force of all cats after the tiger and the lion. The jaguar is threatened by habitat loss, poaching, and being killed by ranchers protecting their livestock. It has been listed as near threatened on the IUCN Red List since 2002. We came across this jaguar while returning back to the flotel late afternoon. She has been named Stella by the research team and is a 3.5-year-old female. This is Stella again, the 3.5-year-old female we saw earlier hunting and playing in the river.
Females have 1 to 2 cubs. The young are born with closed eyes but open them after 2 weeks. Cubs are weaned at the age of 3 months but remain in the birth den for 6 months before leaving to accompany their mothers on hunts. They will then remain with their mothers for up to 2 years. This is Patricia. She is 12 years old with a 4-month-old cub. She had 2 cubs last year and both were lost. Although it was unproved, a male jaguar is suspected as being responsible, as Patricia's 8-year-old daughter also lost her cub last year to a big male in the same channel. It's just starting to get dark and we're on our way back to the flotel when we came across this tapir crossing the river. The Brazilian tapir is uncommon and is classified as vulnerable. They are largely nocturnal and lead almost exclusively solitary lives. They mainly live in dryland forests. However, tapirs with access to rivers spend a good deal of time in and underwater, feeding on soft vegetation, taking refuge from predators, and cooling off during hot periods. We came across this large male jaguar fast asleep under a bush right on the banks of the river. He has been named Kim and is 7 years old. We found this jaguar hunting the shoreline while on our way back to the flotel. It turned out to be Patricia, the jaguar we filmed earlier with the young cub, which she has left behind while out hunting. We followed her for some time, and it was a privilege to be able to see such a beautiful animal in their natural environment. We were lucky to come across this family group with 4 pups returning to the holt after a hunting trip. The holts are built into the riverbank and usually have multiple entrances with several chambers inside. They give birth inside these chambers during the dry season, from 1 to 5 pups, and the entire group collaborates to catch enough fish to feed the young. This cat has been named Ryan and is a 9-year-old female. She was named as a cub and before the correct gender was identified. This jaguar is about 200 metres further along the river. She is called Lisa and is the 1.5-year-old daughter of Ryan.
We've now come to the end of part 2, and in part 3 we continue to explore the Paraguay River from our anchored base, the Jaguar Flotel, and then on to the South Wild Lodge, where we film jaguars with cubs, ocelot, jabiru storks on the nest with young, the scarce Nande parakeet, blue-fronted parrot, whistling heron, and many more.